Playhouse Square has some big news that will change the look and feel of the theater district and our city. President and CEO Art Falco is here this morning to make the exclusive announcement.
So why are we doing this? Well, we believe this will be transformative, attracting more visitors to downtown, supporting the economy, and positioning Playhouse Square as an even greater and vibrant destination for years to come.
In 2012, a team of designers, engineers, and visionaries embarked on a one-of-a-kind project that would transform Cleveland's Playhouse Square.
If you visit other cities and you visit special areas, when you walk into that area, you know that you're in a special place. You have a better mood, whatever it is. And we feel that this project is going to create that.
So the whole goal of this is to really pull the neighborhood together, to identify Playhouse Square, and to make Playhouse Square more than just a place that one would come down to see a show.
What has been missing is that since I am at Playhouse Square, I am at a place that is one of Cleveland's outstanding assets and features and destinations.
Starting as far back as the 1990s, Playhouse Square had been searching for a way to further distinguish its historic district. They received proposals from architects and designers of all kinds. None of them quite hit the mark, but the vision still remained. Flash forward to 2012.
So we're looking for this creative entity, this creative person to help us get there, and we happen upon Danny Barnese.
It was really interesting to me. I wasn't aware of, how important Cleveland and Playhouse Square was to the kind of theater world.
When we brought Danny to town, I kept saying, Danny, before you leave, I want you to take a tour of the theaters. I'm
kind of chomping at the bit to go, the job, the project is outside. So let's, go outside. And no. First, we want you to tour all the theaters.
And so we took him through the theaters, and that's when he was just astounded at the beauty.
And so we go away, and the light bulb just really went off for me. I was like, in a perfect world, to get people to understand this is a theater district, you would drive down, you'd see these gorgeous chandeliers, these beautiful ornamentation, and these gorgeous renovations, and that would define a theater district. So I thought the big idea was, let's pull the inside out.
Within 6 weeks, Danny came up with a plan that was exactly what we were thinking, but we weren't able to articulate it ourselves.
Danny Barnese and others sketched out the plans for a set of outdoor elements that would bring the collective vision to life. A new blade sign with classic styling would grace the side of the main theater complex. Alongside it, 4 new video marquees would hang above the 4 main theaters. At ground level, a series of 7 LCD-powered kiosks would combine the latest in technology with exquisite styling. Out on the street, a series of 4 stunningly crafted gateways would welcome visitors as they entered the district. Star Plaza would receive a facelift, including a 30-foot-tall LED display dubbed the Stylon. Next, in a nod to the district's vaudevillian roots, a stick-built retro sign featuring 9-foot-high letters would sit atop the Cowell and Hubbard building. And lastly, the first of its kind GE chandelier would adorn the intersection at East 14th Street and Euclid.
And it's like we're building a big stage set. So our job was to really make sure that all these new elements, such as the gateway, the chandelier, stylon, so on and so forth, that these things fit perfectly into that set.
The plans for the Playhouse Square district improvements in place, a team must now be assembled. Design Communications Limited, DCL for short, is selected to engineer and fabricate the majority of the elements. Lighting designer Jay Winters from the JK Design Group is also tapped to consult and design the lighting elements for the project. Regional powerhouse Turner Construction is selected to oversee the on-site install of the project, with a host of other local standouts assisting in the assembly and installation process. From the outset, the team knew that one of the biggest challenges they faced would be to construct what would be the world's largest outdoor chandelier. Montreal-based Lumid was selected for this monumental task.
The idea of the chandelier came from a few different areas.
So we were sitting in Art's office one day, and we're at the table, and we're just kind of, not goofing off, but just kind of brainstorming, and no idea is a bad idea. So Art stands up and says, that's the center of Playhouse Square.
The center of Playhouse Square is at 14th and Euclid, right outside this window. And just standing at the window and taking a look and saying, that's where the chandelier should go.
And when Danny came in, he's like, I don't know that there's going to be a chandelier in what I'm going to propose.
And we said, well, why don't we just look at it and talk about it and whatever. And he did. And he came back to us and said, absolutely. It needs to be the focal point. It needs to be the iconic representation of the theater district.
My name is Dominique Allary. We're sitting here in my shop in Montreal. When we got the drawings for the chandelier the first time, and Klein mentioned we want to build the biggest thing in the world, I was really excited. That was my first reaction. I like the scale of it.
Hi, we made it.
In November 2013, members of the team traveled to Lumid's workshop in Montreal to see and test a mock-up of the GE chandelier.
So you want to take a look at it?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
do this.
Let's go.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's incredible. Clearly, people are excited to see the chandelier, but there have been a lot of questions. I think people sort of misunderstand the fact that this chandelier is going to look similar to what you would find in the theaters, but they are not constructed as if they would be hanging in the theater.
So the chandelier is 3 columns that are about 35 feet tall. At the central point where the 3 arms come together, we have something we've been calling the knuckle in the shop, which is a 6-inch thick solid steel 3-way, looks like a Y. And that piece transfers the weight of the chandelier and spreads out from there down each of the 3 arches back through the columns to the foundations in the ground.
I can hang myself from 2 strings off the ground.
They're going to be hanging me from a couple strings of this. It's rigid, it's well secured, and we designed the structure to handle 5 times the weight of the chandelier that we're putting up there. I have every confidence that thing's going nowhere.
Oh, the chandelier parade starting. You know, the big question was, you know, what's going to happen when it snows?
While snowstorms are cause for concern, the event of a major ice storm poses the biggest structural challenge. Dominique Allary and his team cleverly devised an indoor ice storm of epic proportions to put the first mock-up of the GE chandelier and its glass crystals to the test.
That's why we have very intelligent engineers who have, with great care, designed this in a way that is going to be able to withstand all the harsher elements.
I think I'm a little overcautious, but you never are when you actually have cars and people and babies and trollers on there. So I just want to be sure that once frozen and you know, under really, really bad conditions, that everything stays really, really solid and safe for the people. Come on.
Art, get up there. Come on.
Just looks so cool.
It's beautiful when it's frozen.
As beautiful as it was, the ice storm yielded some unwanted results.
It looks like this one's about to do it too. You see
see it make a crack all the way down.
Yeah.
Glass. Yep, we got it. But here's the
Failure.
Yep. Split it right in half.
Figured.
You could tell it was what was filled up inside the channel.
As you know, glass, as this thing in particular, is the strongest material in compression, is the weakest in expansion. And from the beginning, this test was meant to actually check on this.
The crystals are drilled through the center, and the aircraft cable kind of goes through and holds the crystals in place. And we're seeing the buildup of the water inside of there is causing an effect when the temperature ramped up, and when they're ice up, that they actually are cracking. Too crystal or not too crystal? That's the question.
What you can't have happening is that.
Well, it was good that we did the test.
Great.
Yeah.
This is great.
This is why you go through these things.
The team quickly begins to brainstorm possible solutions to their problem. Several solutions are proposed, including the replacement of the glass crystals with equally beautiful yet safer acrylic or resin-based crystals. It's a challenge they'll have to overcome as the countdown to May 2nd continues.
For me, it's safety. You know, it's
Well, for all of us. It's not just you, it's all of us.
Yeah, but the look is important too.
May we have your attention? Welcome and thank you for coming today. We're here to give you an update on our exciting neighborhood transformation project.
The enthusiasm that we have received has been incredible.
And the Chandelier will start arriving here in Cleveland in middle of March, so middle of March to the middle of April.
As we kind of frame off this district with the gateways and the extra signage and the lighting of the chandelier, clearly will be a visible attraction to the center and very distinct, right? And it will clearly, I think, going to rival any other theater district in the world.
There was a point in time in history where Euclid Avenue was considered one of the premier main streets in America, period. And we lost that at a certain point in time. And this project, in my opinion, is reestablishing Euclid Avenue as one of the premier avenues in America.
It's all about identity, that this pulls out that part of the city, that part of the downtown area, and it uniquely identifies them as this. And that when you see that or you hear about it, oh yes, I know that, this Playhouse Square in Cleveland.
As the cold Cleveland winter sets in, work on the arched gateways and video board marquees is in full swing at DCL's facility in balmy Orlando, Florida.
The gateways are composed of a steel frame that's completely concealed by a painted aluminum cladding system.
What do you think of the scale? This is the small one.
And then mounted to the cladding system is a series of illuminated open-faced channel letters that are all lit with GE LEDs.
Oh, what do you think, guys? Looks great.
With the gateway signs, we're at a point where 2 of the gateway signs will be actually shipping out of here in 3 weeks' time.
Those look awesome, Mark. Man, they turned out beautiful.
They are absolutely gorgeous.
So the marquees are pretty much going to be complete by the end of this week. They'll be ready to ship. We'll start breaking down the LED display that is going to ship separately from the cabinets, and we'll start going into a mode where we're packing and crating. So the marquees are pretty much done at this point.
So when will this guy come to town?
Right now, John and I are zeroing in on the last week of February.
It's late February now, and the installation process is beginning. The installation crews will be faced with brutal winter temperatures and snowy conditions. John Lonchina of Turner Construction will be on site overseeing various aspects of the process.
Turner Construction, we were brought on early in the project to serve as the construction manager, to oversee the whole project from pre-construction through construction and close out and final turnover to the owner.
I am freezing. I'm from Florida. I think I'm part reptile. I want a heat lamp and a hot rock. Now we're getting ready to stand it straight up, take the other two mounting legs off, and swing it in place. Yeah. It takes weeks and weeks to build them, and at the end of the day, it takes hours to install them, if it's done right.
Soon after the video marquees are installed, the gateways begin their arrival.
What our plan is to offload this tractor trailer behind you, which has the second archway, which is the largest one. All right, we're clear. We're going to offload it, and then we're going to assemble it alongside the garage here. You going to clear down that end?
So at this point we have the arch in position and it's hovering just over the top of the columns. And what we need to do is adjust the position of the columns so that we can actually get the bolts through that bolt the arch to the top of the column. So the bolts are in. We're good. It's 100%.
Next up for installation is the 44-foot-high retro sign that will sit atop the Cowell and Hubbard building.
The frame was installed last week, and we're now placing the letters onto the bays that are up on the roof.
It's like a letter farm.
We're going to do one letter at a time across the bottom and then come up to the top. We don't want to do the letters in such a way that one letter gets in the way of another one above.
And now the chandelier, that iconic chandelier that everyone asks, when is that chandelier going up? Well, I am very pleased to announce that GE Lighting has become a major supporter of the project and the exclusive sponsor of the chandelier. And from this day forward, the chandelier will be called the GE Chandelier.
Sponsors are very important to this project. And so having GE step up as one of the first sponsors, I think was very, very important.
You know, GE Lighting has been a part of this community for over 100 years, and when we got a phone call talking about the transformation of Playhouse Square and the prominence of lighting in that transformation, we thought, what a perfect fit.
The GE Chandelier, as soon as it's unveiled on May 2nd, is going to become an icon for the city of Cleveland and the entire region. It will become one of the ways this entire city is recognized for its distinctive qualities, and best of all, the way these theaters are celebrated.
The crew constructs a scaffolding tower that they'll use to assemble the parts of the GE chandelier before it gets moved to its final home above the intersection at East 14th and Euclid. Before the chandelier can be hung, the three support arms that hold it in place must first be installed.
That's my favorite part. We got three pieces that are, over 20,000 pounds, over 40 feet long, over 60 feet long. They'll all have to meet in the middle within a quarter of an inch.
The moment of truth has arrived as the team prepares to hang the GE chandelier. Tonight, only the frame of the chandelier will be hung without its 4,200 glistening crystals. After much deliberation, including laboratory testing, the team has chosen to use resin-based crystals for their weather-resistant properties and beauty. These crystals will be installed in late April.
We came to the realization that we probably could have worked with glass, but resin serves us better in the long run. Resin is practically indestructible.
No matter how intimate you are with the designs, no matter how much time you spend drawing, presenting, going to the shop where they're being fabricated, there's nothing like seeing them up.
To see the finished product is something that we're all so proud of.
It is something that reflects the history and the future of Playhouse Square.
It's almost as if we're saying we're celebrating what happened and we're looking forward to what's to come.
We're in a position that says Playhouse Square is in a good place, Playhouse Square is a great success, but we are not finished because we think that it can become even greater.
The night that we flip the switch, it's not the finish, it's the start of how this district defines itself to the people that are passing by.
This is in many ways a legacy project. Everybody at Playhouse Square, staff and board, is going to be able to look back on and say, this was truly a transformative moment when so many of the wonderful aspects of Playhouse Square came together and blossomed.
When we unveil all of this on May 2nd, it is going to be the party of the decade.